Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I am your host. My co-host is back with us, Mr. Cantu. Welcome back, my man.
Yeah, no, it was. I didn't like seeing those solo podcasts. It's good to be back. Just had a baby boy, so that's an amazing feeling, and yeah, good to be back. But tell me about more of that background, that a virtual background, and where you at, Zoe?
We are in the state of milk. If you could, I'll give you two, three guesses real quick. I'm in the state of milk, the city of flour, I would say too.
Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking like Wisconsin vibes because I know they got cheese up there, but I don't know
That's what I thought too, but no, it's not that one. No, that's a good guess, but it's not.
where you at then.
Minneapolis, Minnesota,
Oh wow, okay.
the Twin Cities, St. Paul, Minneapolis. Yeah, wherever we're out here, just a little mini vacation, just me and the wife, and just checking things out over here. Even Prince's hometown as well.
Who?
Do- Prince, do you not
Oh
know who Prince
no,
is?
I do. I didn't hear you. Okay,
A little bit of Purple Rain action.
okay, okay.
But I don't think anybody wants to hear about that. But 128 is the episode. The Swinging Stros as our title, as the Astros took care of business and take this series win against the San Diego Padres. In the beginning, Angel, and the Padres, 11-2. And I'm like, okay, this is not happening because the offense took off over there in Arlington. They go back home and then they just put up 2 runs. I'm like, no, this is not the way that the Astros are gonna, finish this series. And sure enough, they put up 7 runs the second day with 11 hits, and same thing on the series finale, scoring 12 and 11 total hits as well. So it was great to see that from the Astros bounce back from that first game against Blake Snell. Which Blake Snell, honestly, he's gonna be a Cy Young favorite. I honestly think it's gonna be between him and Justice Steele right now, as the NL Cy Young gets down to business. But yeah, great series to win. And then the Astros, 9 of their 11 games, if I am looking at this correctly, 9 of their next 12 games will be going against the Oakland Athletics and the Kansas City Royals. So the Astros have to take care of business because they're playing one series here against Oakland. They're traveling to KC, coming back to Houston, and they will be playing against the Royals as well back home. But Angel, give me that one word. We haven't had a one word in a while. My gosh, I'm getting tongue twisted over here. So give me that one word to describe this series, and show me your taste of what the Astros have done.
It was a magnificent series for the Astros, especially because Seattle lost twice. So now they have a
Mhm.
2.5 game lead on the AL West. But JP France looked good as always. I think right now, like in the playoffs, it's like rotation. It has to be Verlander, Framber, and JP France. I think he's well deserved. And in the beginning, JP, in the beginning, Javier kind of looked like a little bit good. He started off pretty well, and then he just blew up in that third inning, fourth inning, right? But we kind of
Mhm.
saw a glimpse of what could be with Christian Javier. But the offense was good. The
Yeah,
offense was firing.
yeah. It's gonna be very important to get Javier to like start because after that game against New York at home, it looked promising. It looked like maybe the next start he'll pitch was going to be a decent and good outing, maybe a 5 1/3, 5 2/3, or even six. That's what everybody was hoping to see, but didn't get it done. Uh, Good to hear that you were saying that because I didn't get to watch any of the games this series. But the way you made it sound, that's a good sign that he had a good start to the game. But at the end of the day, he just got to capitalize and finish it off instead of giving up a lot of walks that he usually does this season. But like you said, the Mariners did lose 2 games in that series against the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 2.5 games out of first because the Astros are there with an 82-62 record. And then the Texas Rangers, 78-64 with 3 games back, just a half game back of Seattle for that second spot. in the AL West. So let's get off with our shout outs, Angel, and start us off, my man. We haven't had a shout out from you in a good while.
How about I start off with a name everybody loves to hear, Jordan Alvarez. 5 for 7, 714 batting average. He had one double, one home run, four RBIs, and four walks. I don't know what like you said. You didn't really see some of those games, but did you see that home run by Jordan Alvarez? That second deck shot.
Yes, I
That
did.
was that was a loud home run. We can hear it in all over the stadium. It was what I was told. And Jordan's been kind of on a tear. He had five RBIs last series in Texas, so he's piling up those RBI numbers. I believe Kyle Tucker has the lead on that. I think he's just you'll talk about it in a bit, but yeah, I think what he's making like he's making himself up there and trying to catch up to Kyle Tucker as well. So he's been looking good.
Yeah, the play discipline as well. I mean, he's looked really comfortable in the plate in these last two series against the Rangers and against the Padres.
Oh, and then my fault. It was five walks in Texas, not RBIs.
Oh, five walks. I mean, shoot, that's even still good. I mean, the guy's finding a way to get on base each and every time. I mean, four walks in this series, and then the last series against Texas, he had a five walks in that one. I think, like you're saying, he looks very comfortable at the plate. He's looking like that MVP caliber player that he was last year. So that's a very good thing to see from him. My shout out, Angel, I'm gonna go with Kyle Tucker. I mean, he didn't really have a great series against the Padres. He went 3 for 11 with a 273 batting average this series. But I mean, the guy still hit the ball pretty good whenever he had the opportunity. One double, two triples in the same game. We'll talk about in a minute. Four RBIs, two walks. He has over 100 RBIs once again. He got his 100th RBI on Saturday, 101 as well. Now he has, I think, 103 or 104.
Hmm.
But two triples on Sunday, like I said. First Astro to triple twice in one inning. 11th time this has happened to a Major League Baseball player in Major League Baseball history. And that one right there, that information came from Mr. Brian McTaggart. So thank you, Tags, for having that up for us. But I mean, that was a good thing to see Tucker swing the bat at the end of this game. I mean, he looked very comfortable, 2 for 3 at the end of the day with them two triples and giving them runs batted in. I mean, I think that's very important for him because since he's in the five spot, all the RBI opportunities is going to go to him, Bregman, or either or Abreu. So very great to see that Mr. Tucker is looking at the ball pretty good.
Yeah, don't let Tucker start getting those triples. Or not, he's gonna make a run for Evan Gaddis's money. On that one, I don't remember that season where Evan
What? But he had
Gaddis
like what? He had
it
five
double.
triples, I think. Or no, he did
It was
have double
double digits, I
digits.
think.
I
I,
think so. I
I
gotta
think it was
check real
double
quick.
digits. I think I saw something. I think it was 11.
I think so too. I want to say it is 11, but I'm not 100% sure. Real quick too, since we're researching this, um, Kyle Tucker now 28
11.
stolen bases, 26 home runs. The man is still looking at 30-30. You think he's gonna get 30-30? It's getting close to the wire, man. I mean,
It
we have
is.
like what, about 2.5 weeks of baseball left. It's
I think
possible.
so.
It's possible. I think maybe the stolen bases at least he'll get to 30, but the home run numbers, if he can catch fire these last 2 weeks, I mean, he's going to look very promising for him.
Yeah. So Gaddis had 12
Yeah.
triples uh in in his
Uh,
career in 5 straight years, and 11 of them came in
15.
2015.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The big El Oso Blanco. How about that?
Yeah, but let's talk
I
about.
wonder. I honestly, real quick, I honestly wonder if that season 2015, if that led the American League. That'd be crazy if it did.
Let me see. It's right here.
It's interesting. I mean, because I mean, if you when you look at
It
Evan
did
Gattis, you
not.
don't think he's a triple. I mean, you don't think he's a triples kind of guy.
It did not lead the league in 2015.
Who was that then? If you have,
I don't know because you know how like when we go to Baseball Reference, it puts it in
yeah.
bold.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, so it's not in bold, but yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
crazy. So in 2013, zero triples, 14, one triple, 15,
2015,
11 triples,
11.
and after that, no triples.
But he did
That's
get a World Series ring at the end of the day.
oh yeah, he did. He did. But let's talk about this Cuban connection. I just shouted out Jordan Alvarez, and how about Jose Abreu? He's finding it on the plate, which is
Hmm.
again, as long as he's finding it now. What he did in the beginning of the season doesn't matter. Or like he like if he gets hot in October and he starts like powering through, it's like like just think about Jeremy Pena last year. Like he struggled in the beginning,
Hmm.
got hot late, got hot in the playoffs, and everybody forgot about what he did early on. So Jose Abreu can be trending in that direction as well. He went 3 for 9. It's a 333 batting average, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and had an RBI in each game. And something that I did like is he's letting the ball travel a little bit more. He had a double that was on the right field line, so it's always a good time, like a good thing to see as well.
Yeah, I think this guy's gonna be my X factor when it gets to October. Because of course the season that he's had it. I mean, hasn't been promising. Seeing it from an the Astro fans they've seen it before from him. They think, okay, well, Yuli gone, he hasn't been doing too good. And honestly, I mean, he hasn't had the best season of his career. But I do say when he gets to the playoffs, because that was, I believe, 2021 was the first time he's been to the postseason with the White Sox. So being this one, being the second time, if the Astros do make it to the postseason, I say he's going to be the X factor of for that Astros lineup in the postseason, especially if him being that sixth spot.
Yeah.
Very important opportunities right there.
Yeah.
But the last one, and not least, Mr. JP France himself, Jonathan Patrick, have a day on the mound, sir. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Yeah, we got to, shake up a little bit of those walks right there. 5 walks. I mean, that's kind of brutal. I mean, Framber Valdez had did that one time too, and he still pitched a good game. And sure enough, same thing JP France did over here. 97 pitches, 54 strikes. The thing I like about JP France too, dude, is that he bounces back every time he has a not the best outings. So go back to Boston at home. You remember that was his worst start of his rookie career. Next time he went to Boston at Fenway Park, he pitched a gem over there. Same thing happened at Texas. He was getting roughed up by the Rangers. Comes back to Houston, goes against a good offense like the San Diego Padres, and sure enough, dude, another bounce back start like that, 6 innings, 4 hits. That's a quality start in the book. So great to see JP being able to bounce back and pitch like a major league pitcher that he is.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I think JP France is a lock in that Astros rotation. But do you see him like in there, or what do you think?
I honestly do see him. Actually, I really do. Which I'll ask you a question later on
Sure.
when we talk about the preview. But I could see him being a 3 or 4 in that Astros rotation if they make the postseason.
Okay.
Because looking at the other ones, which we'll talk about here in a minute, it's a little toss up in the air.
I
But
get
let's
you.
get with the preview, Angel. Let's get with the preview. The Oakland Athletics are coming to Houston for their final time this season. This is the last time the Astros will see the AL West opponents this year. As you remember the rules that Ron Manfred had said with each divisional team seeing a little bit of each other this year, and for the rest of the seasons going on. But yeah, this is the second to last one. The last AL team that the Astros will play will be the Seattle Mariners. But Oakland Athletics, they're 44-99. My gosh, they just need one more loss to have triple digits in the L column. How about that?
The Royals are already there.
The Royals are already there. I mean, both of them are fighting for last place in MLB. So last in the AL West, 5-5 in their last 10 games. They did lose the series against the Texas Rangers. The funny thing is, too, they won the first game of that series. And honestly, dude, I thought they were going to win the second one, but just didn't turn out that way. Texas got back on its feet and took the series from them. But Monday, you got 7:10 start time. You have Mason Miller, who's 0-2 with a 3.09 ERA. He'll be going against Framber Valdez, who has an 11-9, 3.30 ERA. It looks like his ERA has dropped now after good pitching performances from Framber. His last start at Texas, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He is 3-0 in his last 3 starts this year against the Oakland Athletics.
I'd like to see that.
To see if you're a Nationals fan, because that guy is going to be very important and very valuable if he can continue this trend going out through the season. Then you got Mason Miller on the other hand. His last outing was against Toronto. And Toronto, he had 2 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 3 strikeouts. That was a relief appearance in that role. But his last start at Kansas City, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He has yet to face Houston this year. And obviously, when Astros see rookie pitchers, they're licking their chops, ready to take advantage of whatever they can. and the rookie will be making his fifth start this season with the Oakland Athletics. So he has a four-pitch arsenal, and I think we should all be aware of to see what this kid pitches. He has a four-seam fastball, a slider, a cutter, and a changeup. The most pitch usage you're going to see from him is probably the four seam, the slide, and the cutter. But four seam more than anything, 54.1% of the time. He averages 97 to 98 miles per hour. Slider on the other one is going to be his second best pitch, 22.2% of the time, averages 84 to 86. The whip percentage is big on this one, 44.8. And then you got the cutter, which is a 19.4%, which is just not far from a slider. Just probably thrown, the slider's been thrown a little bit more. Averages about 93 to 95 miles per hour. So this guy got some good movement, good vertical and horizontal movement on all these pitches. And then last but not least, he has the changeup, which 4.3% of the time, not pitched a lot, 89 to 90. The interesting thing here, though, he has thrown the pitch 17 times. He's thrown it 16 times to left-handed hitters and only one to right-handed
Oh
hitters.
wow.
And this guy's a uh, right-handed pitcher. So it'll be interesting to see if he does throw a changeup or two to, Jordan, Tucker, Brantley, one of these guys, because that's very interesting. 17 times and you're only throwing it one time to the right-handed opposing hitter. So interesting to see what he does there.
Yeah, and I know it's a small sample, but that 44.8 whiff percentage on this slider is very impressive, like so far.
Yeah.
So that's a strikeout pitch. Is that what like I was that what
Yeah.
that's telling me? Either like strikeout pitch or trying to like get, again get hitters to chase. So
Yeah, that's his second best. The first one being, I think he has 13 strikeouts with his four seamer. The second best is his slider with 10. So it's his bread and butter with that four seamer and that slider. But you got Tuesday, you got 7-10 start time. You got JP Sears, 4-11 with the 4.51 ERA. He'll be going against JV, Mr. Justin Verlander, 11-7 with a 3.23 ERA. And Justin Verlander has been impressive after that outing against the Yankees. He came back and went to Texas and, threw really well. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He has not faced the Oakland Athletics this year, of course, being the first half of the season being with the New York Mets and being injured, and then being the second half that the Astros haven't played the Oakland Athletics this second half of the season. But last year versus the A's, he was really impressive. In 3 starts, he is 2-0 with a 1.50 ERA, 25 strikeouts. If you combine his 3 starts together, he only allowed 3 earned runs. And I mean, this Oakland Athletics team is almost the same as last year's. They have brought up a couple of rookies over there, Zach Gelof being one of them. Of course, the Astros know Aledmus Diaz. Diaz is over there with the A's as well. But like I said, if Justin Verlander continued finding the way that he's been pitching all this season with the Astros, then there shouldn't be no problem doing it against a team like the Athletics. Next thing you know, you got JP Sears on the other hand for the Oakland A's. Last outing versus Toronto, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. His last start versus Houston, he did receive the loss in that one. He went 5 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. 2 home runs were from Mr. King Tuck himself, Kyle Tucker, and then a home run by Alex Bregman. But on the other hand, last two starts, he's looked unstoppable, honestly. 11 innings pitch, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts. So when you read them stats, Angel, or even when you look at them, I mean, 6 walks in those 2 starts. I mean, the last start itself, he had 4 walks. To me, if you're an offensive player, I mean, when you're at the plate, you're obviously going to be making this guy throw a lot of pitches to you. You're going to work the count, be aggressive, but at the same time, too, don't be silly and chase pitches out of the zone like with JP Sears. If you did that with his last outing against Houston, I mean, he gave up 8 hits. He did only throw 1 walk, but he only struck out 1 player. So honestly, to me, when you see stuff like that with the walk percentage maybe being high, just make him work the count, I'd say.
no, yeah, and again, the Athletics have not been baseball's greatest team, right? This year,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a few bright spots, and that few bright spots is that rotation with JP Sears and Paul Blackburn. I talked about Paul Blackburn, and again, these teams are going to compete. Like, yeah, they're not, yeah, they don't have like the postseason in their mind, but they're down to play spoilers. So again, the Astros should not take them lightly.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose, to be honest with you. I mean, they just want to ruin whoever's season by any means. In September, actually, in the first week, in the first 3 game series against the Angels, they did sweep them. So that's pretty interesting to know
And they
and to
played hard
see.
against the Rangers too. So
Yeah, I mean 6-3 Friday. They won that game. Saturday they lost 2-3. Like I said, they could have won that one and actually take the series away from the Rangers. So the Athletics are going to be scrappy and they're going to be good. They're going to find a way, like you said, just to spoil those games and make you lose some of them. So be aware on these scrappy A's. But Wednesday, you got a 6:10 start time. You got Paul Blackburn, who is 4-4 with a 3.88 ERA. He'll be going against Hunter Brown, who was 10-11 with a 4.78 ERA. And let's talk about Paul Blackburn for a second because this guy was an all-star. If you remember the story of him catching a ride with the Houston Air Flight, I think that was in 2021 or either 2022, one of those years. He caught the plane rides to go the All Star game with some of the other Astro players that were attending the All Star game. So Paul Blackburn's, I'm pretty sure, is a good guy. But his last outing at Texas, he did get roughed up by the Rangers. He only went 3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. However, against Houston, his last start, he looked pretty damn good. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. The only one that really had success was Mr. Alex Bregman. Paul Blackburn, too, after the All Star break, has been really lights out for the A's starting rotation. This has probably been one of their best pitchers, I'd say, since the All Star break for the A's. 3-3 with a 3.26 ERA. Yes, ERA doesn't matter a lot to a lot of statisticians or analytics or things like that. But at the same time, too, it's still a good number. 3.26, 3.3. I'm pretty sure if he was pitching for the Yankees or he was pitching for the Baltimore Orioles, I think it'd be even better for him. But there is a bright spot for the Astros offense to see with Paul Blackburn this second half and really this throughout this whole season. He has a 286 opponent batting average. That's combined with right-handed and left-handed hitters. Left-handed hitters find more success against him as he has a 303 opponent batting average, while right-handed hitters, on the other hand, still a decent number, 276 opponent batting average. So be interesting to see what the Astros hitters do right there, as Paul Blackburn is a right-handed pitcher. So next one we got Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown, and I've said it before and I've said it again. It's been a little difficult for him this season to stay on track and pitch great games. It's been a little rough for him these past 2 starts. I mean, even his last start against the San Diego Padres, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. It's been very rough for him this past lately, but we'll just have to see what happens right here. Back to back rough starts, like I said before. His last start versus the A's, I guess you could say it was a little positive. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He does have a 2.37 ERA this season versus the Oakland Athletics. That's probably one of the brightest spots to see from Hunter Brown right now in this next start, which hopefully he does pitch very good. Hopefully he gets the confidence going again. But Angel, are you there? Are you there? Okay, I think Angel's having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll have him on in a minute. But yeah, that is the series preview of the pitchers, the pitching preview. Yeah, you got to be positive. If you're a Nationals fan, you got JV, you got Fernando Valdez coming on the mound. That's your 1-2 punch right there in the starting rotation. Hunter Brown's right there too. And like I said, these couple starts he's had been rough. It's been very bad for him. I'd say very horrific. But at the same time, too, you got to bounce back and get back into position because you're trying to fight a spot, I'd say, in the starting rotation if you're getting to the postseason. It's going to be interesting. If Angel comes on, then I'll give him this question. But Hunter Brown, do you see Hunter Brown as a starter for the Astros in the postseason? Do you see him in the relief role? Do you see him in the bullpen? Do you even see him on the roster? You don't know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens if he does get on to the starting rotation. By all means, I think it'd be very difficult. But on the other hand, at the same time, I think I think Brown would look better in the bullpen. Give him a little rest. Give him some breaks from all. So yeah, now we got Angel back with his Wi-Fi. His
sorry.
technical difficulties was a little there, but I mean, I've had asked the audience if you think Hunter Brown should be a starter if the Astros do reach the postseason. Where do you see him? Do you see him as a starter, or what do you think Hunter Brown would be placed if the Astros were to be in the postseason today?
Honestly, he might, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because who else? Like the only locks right now in the Astros rotation for the postseason is Verlander, Framber, and JP France. After that is the wild card. You've seen Urquidy come out the bullpen, so I'm sure he's getting ready for that. But I think Javier needs a bullpen opportunity as well. Save that arm a little bit because Javier, I don't see him in a rotation. Urquidy, I mean, he's looked pretty like better than I'm gonna say better than Javier. So now it's between Javier Hunter Brown. It's just whoever plays well in this last stretch of the season will probably get that last spot. But if Urquidy's getting more bullpen opportunities, that tells me he's coming from the bullpen. So it'll probably be Hunter Brown, but I think he has a short leash for sure.
Yeah, it's very hard for me to say. Like I was saying, I mean, you do want him to be a starter if he does it good, but at the same time, too, I mean, he's been having some rough starts in the couple, in his past couple starts he's been playing. I mean, it hasn't been the best. It hasn't been pretty. He's been only pitching 4 innings. And maybe you need to see him in a relief experience for once, at least one time out of the bullpen. You saw how that went against Miami. He was able to do it, but Jose Urquidy, to me would be an interesting one to kind of give a chance
Yeah.
because we have hardly see Urquidy come back and start any of these games after he came back off the IL. I mean, you've seen a couple, I think maybe two or three. I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but I mean, Urquidy too, and the bullpen hasn't been bad. I mean, if you take away that relief appearance against the Padres, I would say he looked pretty decent in the bullpen. Also, he does have some postseason experience starting some games. I mean, Christian Javier too. But at the same time, my gosh, like you said, it's a wild card in number, like in that fourth spot.
Hmm.
And that's really, honestly, yeah, you would even say if the Astros do beat, like if they're in the ALDS, they're gonna have to have a game four starter. Which, if I could remember at the top of my head, last year in the ALDS, it was JV Framber, Christian Javier, yeah, Christian Javier actually, and then they threw that bullpen game in Game 3. So we'd like to hear your takes, though. I mean, what do y'all think? If you think Hunter Brown should be a starter in the bullpen, if you think he should be a starter in the game in the postseason, or you think they should put him back in the bullpen and let him work from there? Because even in the postseason last year in the bullpen, he looked pretty good. So be
Hmm.
interesting to see. But like I said, Angel, like I was telling everybody, this series is very winnable. They have the number one, number two guy in the starting rotation to go and do some damage against a team like this. You got to take care of business at home.
No, and to go with your question of how many starts, so since he's been back on August 6th, he's only had 3 starts.
Or
Other than
Kitty,
that,
right?
yeah, or Kitty, yeah, he's only
Okay.
had 3 starts. But everything else has come from the bullpen. He started against New York, LA, and back-to-back starts. That's when he was coming back. Seattle bullpen, then he started in Boston, then Boston again, New York, San Diego. That's all been.
When was his last start? If you
His
have it
last
right there.
start was August 23rd. I was against Boston. He went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Which again was it? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was
No, no,
about to
no.
say
Sorry,
because I
sorry,
think
sorry. 4 2/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout.
that was at Boston.
Now, and that was against Boston at Minute Maid Park.
Oh, at Minute Maid Park. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
actually, he recorded a save at Boston.
he did record a save, which I don't understand because I think that game it was like a lot to a little. I'm like, how do you record saving that? I don't know.
Oh,
That's
so when he came in, it was probably like, so it was probably like less than 3 runs,
mhm.
and he had out the inning, but he didn't come out the game, so that's considered a save. So it's basically like a Ryan Presley role in the ninth inning, less than 3 runs. But he came in, but he did that earlier in the game, and he never left the game, so it's considered a save.
Interesting. Very interesting. Didn't know that.
Yeah, but yeah, so Urquidy, but I agree with you. I think Urquidy needs to see some action as a starter. Yes, it hasn't been pretty, but again, he hasn't pitched in a while, and he needs to get those bullets up for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to lose. I mean, you got to find a way to get somebody in the groove in
Especially,
that starting rotation. Honestly,
especially because like I hate to say this, but you know what you're expecting when you put Javier in. Like, it's sad to say because Javier was great and has been great, and it's just this season. It's like going
Hmm.
in there, he's gonna give you about five, 4 2/3. So why not give Urquidy a shot?
Yeah,
I mean, the thing about Javier is like for the most part, he tends to find a way to get out of trouble, but he puts himself into that trouble, right? So it's
yeah.
just like I don't know. I would
It's
just
like
say,
sometimes the command is there, and then there's days that the command's just not even close, man. And that's the thing with Javier. If his command is working, he could get to 6 innings. But if that command is there, and I understand maybe why Dusty or the coaching staff leaves Urquidy in the back in the bullpen, just in case for stuff like that. But like you said, you got to give him a shot, one way or another.
hmm, I agree with you. But it is time for our MVP and hot takes again. Sorry, we were in that topic. I was having technical difficulties, but we're moving on. So again, I haven't done it in a while, so I'm just gonna go over with our new ones this time around. So you know what? I was feeling kind of bold this time, right? Uh,
Bold.
yeah, it's been I've been off 2 episodes, so I'm trying to make a splash. So my offensive VP is gonna be Jeremy Pena. We saw him in that 2 hole. We also saw him in the bottom lineup, and he did pretty good. Um, and again, he's my X factor. If we can get Pena back to the way he was in late September and October, then this 1 through 9 is stacked.
Yeah,
It's stacked because again, there's some who are struggling like Maldonado, Pena, but if you can get those guys going, tough outs everywhere. And so I'll say Pena, and then again, he did it last year. He can get hot this year again.
yeah,
And my pitching MVP is gonna be Hunter Brown. I say he bounces back. He needs to bounce back if he wants to see, like we were talking about the rotation in October. I say he turns things around, and what better team to do it than the Oakland Athletics? Like again, nothing against them; they're gonna play hard, but statistics shows when you're 44 and 99, you're not gonna win too many games. So,
yeah.
who? Why not them? And then my hot take for today is Astros score more than 4 runs each game this season. Again, uh, Ernest was telling me how Blackburn's been a bright spot uh, for the Astros, for the Athletics. JB Sears is pretty good as well, but I think they can outmatch that rotation.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's one. I mean, the team to do it would be against a team that hasn't been playing great all season. That's the Oakland A's.
Hmm.
I mean, they're one loss away from being 100 L's in the season. I mean, next thing you know, the Astros played the Kansas City Royals, which they're the same way. So it's very important for the Astros to take care of business. I like the Pena, I like the Brown picks because Pena he's done really well in that 2 hole in the Astros lineup. And then Brown, like you said, if he wants to find a way to stay in this Astros rotation in the, going into the postseason and maybe in the future, then he has to prove it right here in some of these games, which really counts. So, especially against the A's as well. So, last one I had Altuve, Javier, and I said, which I mean, Altuve didn't have the best series. Javier, we know how that went. And then the Astros hold the Padres under 10 runs the whole series. The first
The
game,
first game.
11 runs. So 0 for 3. How about that? A little over for me, which has been a while since I think I've had an over. So you take bad days like that, but it's all right. It's a new series. You got Alex Bregman being my offensive MVP. He's been really doing well for the Astros ever since the All Star break has passed by. I think he continues to click in all cylinders. Being that 4 hole, I think I honestly like him being in the 2 spot, but at the same time too, he looks good at the 4 hole too. So I'm not opposed to either spot that he wants to be in the lineup. So Abrex is my offensive MVP. Framber, like I said, this man was 3-0 against the Athletics this year. I believe he threw a complete game shutout. Uh, in the first game this season against the A's on Memorial Day, I think. I'm not 100% sure, or Armed Forces Day, one of those days with the camo hats.
Hmm.
Yeah, so 3-0 against the Athletics. Hey, baby, why we don't do 4-0 for the season against the A's? So got Framber as my pitching MVP, and then the hot take, simple hot take, nothing too fancy. Astros take care of business at home, but a little caveat on the top. I said all 3 starting pitchers get the win,
Ooh,
meaning
so sweet.
Framber, JV, yeah, a sweep, but Framber, JV, and Hunter Brown collect a W under their belts. So, like you said, Angel, this is the team to really do it against. but the Astros have to not play to the competition.
I agree. I agree. Now it is time. It's a pretty fast show. I think we're moving pretty fast. Pretty
Pretty
fast.
quick.
Yeah, it's because now it's time for our over and unders, and as the score shows, Lorenzo has a 2 point lead, 36-34.
Yeah,
So
we haven't done over under. If you've heard the episodes, we've been doing what we want to see, need to see, and don't want to see. So we've been doing that on the solo shows. But hey, we're back on the over under, baby.
yeah,
I'm glad to have that back.
it's kind of weird doing your own over and unders, right? So, but
Like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna take the over on that. You know, yeah, nah, that don't work solo. I'd rather have that with somebody else.
for sure, for sure. So again, you were talking Jose Abreu got a shout out, and you were talking about how he's been looking better. So let's start with him. Jose Abreu records 4 hits or more this series. Again, it's a 3 game set.
I think he does hit over this series of 4 hits. I think he's starting to find the groove of things. And that Arlington series, dude, I mean, he was smashing the ball. I know you weren't on the pod when we were talking about, but man, that guy was hitting the ball. Cuban missiles to Globe Life Phil. And then even in this series, yeah, 3 for 9. But I mean, at least he's getting an RBI each game. The guy is finding ways to bring guys in. That's the most important thing. I think that's what the Astros did too at free agency, trying to bring in Jose Abreu, was to get a guy that's going to help bring guys in on base. So, we're not talking about RBI production, but in order to get RBIs, you got to get a hit, or you can even count as a sac fly. But 4 hits, I think he does go over on that. Right now, I'm trying to find the stats on his splits of this month, but I'll get the over on that one.
Right? While you look for those splits, I take the over on this one too. Again, it's kind of like I know he can do it, but the thing is, it's a 3 game set. So if he gets 1 hit a game, they lose it. So, but I think he can go over as well. Again, why not? Why not against the A's? So I say over on that one as well.
So in 9 games with 32 at bats, he has 8 hits, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs.
Wow.
In August, he only had 6 RBIs. He only had 6 RBIs in August. In July, he had 15 to finish that month.
We're still what beginning of August? You would say?
We're still in the beginning of September, brother.
Oh,
Shoot.
sorry, my bad. Yeah, September.
The most RBIs he's had in a month is in June, and that was 21. And guess what his batting average OPS was in that month?
Tell me.
292 batting average with an 821 OPS, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs.
Nice.
So it's trending to the right direction, really.
Yeah.
So why not get 4 RBIs like you said?
Yeah, I agree
I mean,
with
four
you.
hits, 4 hits.
Yeah, 4 hits. I think he can do it. But the next one, Bregman has 3 or more RBIs for this one. I'll go first on this one. I'll go first on this one. I would say
Okay.
over as easily over. I think he can do it, and I think he will do it.
Yeah, being the 4 spot, I think it's very clear to get 3. I don't think he'll get 3 on the dot. 3 or more is more than likely, because against a team like this, you should be able to. You're in the number 4 spot. You're getting RBI at bats right there for a reason. So I'll go over as well.
Okay, so to make it a little bit more challenging this time, Verlander fans 9 or more athletics in his start. So he has to get 10.
Wow.
Now, you know what? Let me change that one. How about 10 or more?
I'll go
I don't know.
under, actually.
I like a 9. I like a 9.
All right. Well, even 9, I'm still going to go under. Yeah, I mean, it's the Athletics, like we've been talking about. But at the same time, too, at the end of the day, this is a team that's very scrappy at the plate. They got good players: Tony Kim, Aledmus Diaz, Zach Gelof, Shane Langoliers. They got offensive guys. If they could just find a way to get clicking for that lineup, then they could be unstoppable. Just how I mean, dude, against the Angels in the first week, they put up 9 runs in one game and 10 runs in another game. So I'm getting off topic talking about the A's, but with Verlander fanning 9 or more, I think it's possible, but I'm going to go under on this one.
Wow.
I think he'll use the ground ball more in his way.
That's actually surprising. I could have sworn you're going to go over on that one, but I'm going to go over. Again,
Okay.
the Astros aren't the Angels. The Astros aren't the Rangers. So I would say he gets 9 exactly.
9 exactly.
Yeah, 9 exactly. Yeah.
And you're gonna go 10 when you said 9
Yeah,
exact.
I know. I regretted it. So yeah, 9. So I go over on that one. And now the last one, Hunter Brown pitches 6 quality innings. Now
Hmm.
quality. So if he pitches 6 and he allows
Okay,
4 runs,
define quality then. If it's
it
6
has to be a
quality
quality start.
innings, oh, it has to be just a QS.
Yeah, QS.
Okay.
So he can pitch 6, but if he allows 4 runs, it's under. It has to be quality.
This is the team to do it, like you said. I'll go over with this one, and he's had back to back starts with 4 innings, not even getting to the fifth. It's going to be very important for him to get to 6 this game. I think it's going to, for at least to save the bullpen too. The bullpen hasn't been really been used this weekend. If you take away the first game, I think Jose Urquidy took a bunch of the charge on that one. But if he could find a way to not use that bullpen, go 6 or even 7, which hopefully he could, by all means, it's all good. But QS in the books, I'd say he'll get it over.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I'm gonna go over on this one. I think he 6 quality innings exactly. Might be able to go 7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good if he goes 7, but Hunter Brown's last outing going 6 was August 10 against the Baltimore Orioles. And that game, he really should have finished at 6, but I remember Dusty putting him in the 7th to go. But I mean, man, he's been a little roughed up lately. After 2, oh man, yeah. So looking at it right now, Seattle on August 20th, he went 2 2/3, giving up 6 earned runs. At Detroit, that was his best game. Not really his best game, but I mean, it was a good game to pitch against. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. And then these back to back rough starts in September against the Yankees and the Padres, he's only pitched 4 innings and 4 1/3. So he has to find a way. He has to find a way. But I mean, it's a good opportunity, like you said, to do it against a team like this, who's really what, second to last in Major League Baseball.
Hmm.
So they're going to be scrappy, like you said, at the end of the day, and they're going to try to find a way to win the ball game. And this is really the series. But other than that, Angel, that is it for our show. Continue to follow us at Full Steam Ahead on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call the app. TikTok as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram. Thread, you already know, we still on there. We'll continue putting on our content on there as well. But our podcast platforms, you got Google, Spotify, and Apple. Leave us a rate, leave us a review. Congratulations to Nina too. I forgot to give her a shout on our last podcast, but she won the Michael Brantley
That's a nice one.
and the commemorative pin set, which two good prizes, honestly, dude. Them commemorative pin sets, they're nice. Have the series wins 3-0 against the Mariners, 3-0 against the Yankees, and then of course the 4-3 against the 4-2 against the Phillies. So great prize. Congrats to you, Nina. But Angel, you have anything else before we sign off, man?
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Yes, it is. Good to have you back, dude. Good to have you back. But other than that, like you said, it was a short show. That's all we have. We will give you the recap of the Oakland Athletics. We'll record on Thursday night. We'll have that new episode on Friday, since Thursday is an off day for the Astros, and we will give you that preview going to the KC, going to Kansas City, and man, I'm pretty sure they have some good barbecue out there too. So we'll have to see. But until then, y'all stay safe out there. Have a good week. We'll talk to y'all on Friday morning. See ya.
Peace.